1. There is a bottle sitting in the cleaning aisle of every grocery store in the country. It has been there for decades. It costs $3. Pool professionals, the ones who actually know what they are doing, have been using it quietly on their best accounts for 40 years. Not because they discovered some obscure chemistry secret, because they read the back of the pool store bottle, saw the active ingredient, drove to the grocery store, and never looked back. The pool store version of the same product costs $35. Same active ingredient, same concentration range, same effect on pool water. One different label, different aisle, different margin. The $32 difference between those two bottles is not chemistry. It is packaging, branding, and the assumption that you will never flip the pool store bottle over and read what is actually inside it. This video is about that bottle. What it is, what it does, why it works, why the pool store charges 12 times the grocery store price for the identical compound, and why the professionals who know this have never had a financial incentive to tell you. 1. By the end of this video, you will know the product, the exact dose for every application, and the complete system that pool experts have been running on their best accounts while charging their clients for specialty chemicals they were never actually using. 90% of pool owners have been paying retail for a product they could have been buying wholesale from the grocery store for 4 decades. That ends today. Spend enough time talking to retired pool service technicians and a consistent story emerges. The route tech, who services 40 pools a week, is not pulling 40 different specialty chemical formulations out of the truck for 40 different pool problems. They are pulling a handful of core compounds that handle the vast majority of what 40 pools need across a summer season. And several of those core compounds are not coming from the pool supply warehouse. They are coming from the grocery store, the hardware store, and the wholesale club. The economics of a pool service route make this inevitable. 1A tech servicing 40 pools a week needs chemistry that works reliably, costs predictably, and does not require a different product for every situation. Specialty pool store products are inconsistently formulated, expensively priced, and difficult to stock in bulk quantities in a service truck. Plain commodity chemicals, the ones with one active ingredient, consistent concentration, and no specialty markup, are easy to buy in bulk, easy to dose accurately, and reliable in their behavior. 1. The dirty secret of the pool service industry is that the chemistry going into the pools of clients paying $150 a month for professional service is frequently the same chemistry available at the grocery store for $3 to $10. The expertise the client is paying for is the knowledge of what to add, when to add it, and in what sequence, not access to exclusive compounds that are unavailable to homeowners. The knowledge, the system, the sequence, and that knowledge, that system, that sequence is exactly what this channel gives away for free. 1. Because the product does not require expertise to use once you know what it is. The expertise is in the knowing, and now you will know. The product is plain, unscented liquid bleach, sodium hypochlorite at 6% to 8.25% concentration, available in every grocery store, every big box store, every dollar store in the country for $3 to $5 per large jug. It has been the primary liquid chlorine source for knowledgeable pool professionals since before most residential pool owners started buying their chemistry from a specialty store. 1. The pool store version is liquid pool chlorine at 10% to 12.5% sodium hypochlorite. It costs $6 to $9 per gallon at standard pricing and significantly more during peak summer demand when pool store liquid chlorine prices spike and the grocery store bleach aisle stays at $3 to $5 regardless of the season. The chemistry is identical. Sodium hypochlorite sanitizes pool water through the same mechanism at 6% as it does at 12.5%. The higher concentration means you use proportionally less volume to achieve the same dose. The lower concentration means you use proportionally more. 1. The cost math still favors bleach at most price points and dramatically favors bleach during summer price spikes when pool store liquid chlorine can climb to $10 to $14 per gallon while the bleach aisle stays flat. Here is the dose translation that makes bleach a direct practical replacement for pool store liquid chlorine. To raise free chlorine by 1 part per million in a 10,000-gallon pool using 6% bleach, you need approximately 21 ounces. Using 10% pool chlorine, you need approximately 13 ounces. The volume difference is the concentration difference. 1. The cost difference at current market prices favors bleach by 30% to 60% depending on your region and the time of season. During a July price spike on pool chlorine, that difference can reach 70% or more. Pool professionals discovered this math 40 years ago and have been buying bleach in bulk ever since. Their clients have been paying for pool chlorine on the itemized service bill. The difference between what was purchased and what was billed is called margin, and it has been running quietly on millions of pool service accounts for 4 decades. One, understanding the markup requires understanding how pool store pricing is structured, because the markup on liquid chlorine, while significant, is not actually the most aggressive pricing on the pool chemical wall. It is simply the most visible because liquid chlorine is a product most owners buy repeatedly and in volume. The pool store markup model works on 2 variables: perceived specialization and purchase frequency. 1A product that appears specialized with a pool-specific label, pool-specific instructions, and a pool picture on the front commands a specialty price regardless of whether the underlying compound is genuinely specialized. A product purchased frequently generates margin repeatedly. The highest margin pool store products are the ones that appear specialized and require frequent repurchase. Liquid pool chlorine scores moderately on both variables. The specialty label justifies the markup over grocery store bleach. 1. The weekly repurchase frequency generates that margin repeatedly across the season. But liquid chlorine is not the most egregious example on the wall. That distinction belongs to the products where the underlying compound is a true commodity available for pennies per ounce, and the pool store markup runs 400% to 1,500%. Alkalinity increaser is sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. The pool store sells it for $15 to $20 for a 4-pound tub. The grocery store sells it for $1 a pound in boxes that stack in your equipment shed. 1. The markup on alkalinity increaser is not 12 times the grocery store price like liquid chlorine. It is 15 to 20 times. Same compound, same molecular weight, same effect on alkalinity in pool water. A 15 to 20 times markup on a product that pool owners buy multiple times a season, every season for the life of their pool. pH Up is sodium carbonate, washing soda, laundry aisle, $4 a box. The pool store sells the equivalent for $12 to $18. Borax for pH stability, and the borate buffer system costs $8 to $1 for a box that handles the entire season. 1. The pool store equivalent, sold as a pH stabilizer or buffering agent when sold at all, commands a specialty price for a compound that is in the laundry aisle of every grocery store. The pattern is consistent across the wall. Take a commodity chemical compound, put it in a smaller container, put a pool picture on the front, write pool-specific instructions on the back, price it at the specialty product tier, sell it to owners who never read the active ingredient because they have been trained to read the front label instead of the back. 1. The $35 and the $35 bottle contain the same chemistry. The $32 difference is entirely the cost of the picture on the front. This is the practical section, the one you screenshot and take to the grocery store. Every application below has been used by pool professionals on residential and commercial accounts for decades. Every dose is calculated for a 10,000-gallon pool. Scale linearly for your pool size. Application 1. Daily chlorine maintenance. This is the primary replacement and the one that saves the most money across a season. 1. To maintain free chlorine between 2 and 4 parts per million in a 10,000-gallon pool through a typical summer day. Most pools need 1 to 2 parts per million of added chlorine per evening. That is 21 to 42 ounces of 6% bleach added at dusk with the pump running. Cost per day, approximately $0.40 to $80 using grocery store bleach. Cost per day using pool store liquid chlorine, $0.75 to $1,050. Zoud. Same chemistry, same result in the water. Daily savings that compound across a 90-day summer season into real money. Application 2. Weekly shock treatment. 1 breakpoint chlorination. The dose large enough to oxidize and eliminate combined chlorine and organic load accumulated through the week. Requires pushing free chlorine to approximately 10 times the combined chlorine level. For most residential pools after a normal use week, that means reaching 8 to 12 parts per million temporarily. With 6% bleach in a 10,000-gallon pool, that requires approximately 2 gallons added at dusk with the pump running overnight. Cost $6 to $10 in bleach. One pool store weekly shock in single-dose bags. $8 to $16 depending on the product and whether your pool requires 2 bags. Same oxidation result. Bleach adds no cyanuric acid, which is an additional advantage over trichlor-based shock products that stack stabilizer with every dose. Application 3. Post-party load treatment. After a heavy use day with significant bather load, the standard weekly shock dose is insufficient. Double it. 4 gallons of 6% bleach per 10,000 gallons, added at dusk, pump running all night. Test chlorine the following morning. 1. If it is dropped back to normal range, the organic load was handled and the pool is ready to swim in. If chlorine dropped near 0 overnight, the load was heavier than 1 dose handled, and you shock again the following evening. 2 consecutive dusk treatments with correct pump operation clear the most stubborn post-party water situations. Cost for both evenings combined, $24 to $40 in bleach. Pool store emergency treatment for the same situation, $40 to $80 depending on products recommended. Application 4, early algae intervention. 1A pool showing early signs of algae. Slight green tint, minor cloudiness, visible early growth in corners, responds to a bleach shock at 1.5 times the standard dose combined with thorough brushing before the addition. Brush all surfaces first to break up early colonies and send cells into the water column where elevated chlorine can reach them. Add 1.5 times the weekly shock dose at dusk, run the pump overnight, test at dawn, repeat the following evening if needed. Most early algae situations clear within 48 hours of this treatment without a single algaecide bottle. 1 cost, $9 to $15 in bleach versus $25 to $45 in pool store algae treatment products. Application 5, equipment and surface sanitizing. Pool toys, floats, cartridge filter elements, skimmer baskets, and pool steps all accumulate biological growth across the season. The pool store sells specialty equipment sanitizer at $12 to $20 a bottle, with sodium hypochlorite listed as the active ingredient. A diluted bleach solution, 1 cup of plain bleach per gallon of water, creates an effective sanitizing soak for pool equipment at a cost of pennies per treatment. 1 soak items for 30 minutes. Rinse thoroughly before returning to the pool. The same compound, the same sanitizing mechanism, a fraction of the cost. This channel draws honest lines because the line between what bleach replaces and what it does not is real, and crossing it costs money in the wrong direction. Bleach does not replace cyanuric acid. Stabilizer is a pool-specific compound that protects chlorine from UV destruction and has no grocery store equivalent. Without adequate stabilizer at 30 to 50 parts per million. Bleach additions burn off in hours under summer sun, and the daily maintenance math stops working. Buy cyanuric acid from the pool store or a pool supply source. It is one of the purchases that genuinely belongs there. Bleach does not replace calcium hypochlorite granular shock for the fastest possible green pool slam. 1 cal hypo at 68% available chlorine raises free chlorine faster and higher per pound than bleach can achieve in a single addition, which matters when you need to sustain 15 to 20 parts per million through a multi-day slam process. Bleach works for routine shocking. For a severely green pool requiring rapid elevation of free chlorine to high levels, Cal Hypo from the pool store is the right tool. Bleach does not replace muriatic acid for pH reduction. Muriatic acid from the hardware store at $10 a gallon is already the cost-effective professional choice. 1. The pool store dry acid alternative costs more for less product. Hardware store muriatic acid is what professionals actually use, and bleach does not replace professional intervention for electrical work, pressurized equipment, confirmed leaks, or structural issues. The savings from replacing pool store chemistry with grocery store chemistry belong in your pocket. They do not belong in an amateur repair of equipment where getting it wrong costs far more than getting it right would have. If this is the season you make the switch, here is everything you need and where to get it. 1 grocery store. Plain unscented bleach in bulk. Baking soda in bulk bags from the wholesale club, 20 Mule Team Borax from the laundry aisle, washing soda from the laundry aisle. Hardware store, muriatic acid, 1 gallon handles most of a season for a residential pool. Pool store, once at the start of the season, cyanuric acid granules, calcium hypochlorite shock in a bulk bucket, a Taylor K 2006 drop test kit or equivalent, borate test strips. That is the complete list. 1 grocery store trip, 1 hardware store trip. One pool store trip at the start of the season for the 4 things that genuinely belong there. Everything else that used to go in your pool store cart goes back on the shelf. And if you want the complete version of this system in writing, every dose, every substitution, the full slam process, and a printable weekly routine, I put it all together in a 39-page guide called the Pool Carter Playbook From Green to Crystal Clear. Normally $67 right now, just $29.99. The link is below this video. 7-day refund guarantee. Instant PDF download. Look at what every product on this list has in common. None of them were invented for pools. Bleach was laundry and surface disinfection. Baking soda was baked goods. Borax was laundry. Muriatic acid was masonry. Calcium hypochlorite was municipal water treatment. Pool chemistry did not create these compounds. It repackaged them, renamed them, put pool pictures on the front, and priced them at specialty product rates for a market that was never told what the active ingredient actually was. The 3-bottle and the $35 bottle are the same bottle. Want the 40 years of professional use and the 40 years of residential owners paying retail for the specialty version are the same 40 years. The difference is one piece of information, what is on the back of the bottle, not the front. The pool professional who has been buying bleach from the grocery store for 40 years did not find a secret. They read the label. That is the entire advantage. Not expertise, not access, not a professional account at a specialty supplier. A habit of reading the active ingredient instead of the product name. You now have that habit. 1. The grocery store aisle looks different from here. The pool store wall looks different from here. The receipt at the end of the season looks different from here. If you have already made any part of this switch, or if this is the first time you have ever flipped a pool store bottle over and read the back, drop it in the comments. What did you find? What was it costing you? Help the next owner read the back of the bottle before they spend another season paying retail for $3 chemistry. Every video on this channel works the same way. Real numbers, no sponsors, no pool store upsell. 1. If that is useful to you, subscribe. This channel reads the water, not the marketing. There is a specific moment that almost every pool owner experiences at some point in their first 3 to 5 years of ownership. It happens at the pool store checkout. The cart has 4 or 5 products in it. The receipt prints. The number is $90 or $110 or $130, and for just a second before the card goes back in the wallet, something registers. Not quite doubt, not quite anger. 1. Just a quiet, uncomfortable awareness that this is the 3rd time this summer that this exact sequence of events has happened, and the pool looks more or less the same as it did before the first visit. Most owners push that feeling down and carry the bags to the car. The pool store is the expert. The tech recommended these products. The water will be better by Thursday, and sometimes it is, and sometimes it is not, and the following month the sequence repeats. A small percentage of owners do not push that feeling down. They sit with it in the parking lot and they ask a different question. Not what product do I need next? But why does this keep happening? That question is the beginning of the end of the pool store dependency. Because the answer to that question is never another product. It is always a system. And the system, once understood, makes most of the products unnecessary. The owner reading this right now is already past that parking lot moment. They asked the different question. They found this channel, and the information in this video is the answer that the parking lot question was pointing toward. The $3 bottle is not the punchline of a trick. It is the natural conclusion of asking why, instead of what. Here is the practical skill that outlasts any specific product recommendation in this video. How to read a pool product label correctly so that you never again pay specialty prices for commodity chemistry. Step 1. Ignore the front of the bottle entirely. The front label is a marketing decision. The product name, the claim on the front, the problem it says it solves, the image of sparkling blue water. None of it tells you what the compound is or what it costs to buy the compound directly. 1. The front label is designed to create a purchasing decision before you flip the bottle over. Ignore it. Step 2. Read the active ingredients on the back. The active ingredients list tells you what the compound is. Sodium bicarbonate means baking soda. Sodium hypochlorite means bleach or liquid chlorine, depending on concentration. Sodium carbonate means washing soda. Sodium tetraborate means borax. Sodium bisulfate means dry acid. These translations are not obscure chemistry knowledge. They are the common names of compounds available in every grocery store. Learn these 6 translations, and you can read every pool store label correctly. Step 3. Look up the grocery store or hardware store equivalent before buying. Once you know the active ingredient, the question is where to buy that compound most cheaply in the concentration and volume you need. Sodium bicarbonate, baking aisle, wholesale club bulk bags, sodium hypochlorite at 6 to 8% bleach aisle, large jugs any grocery store. Sodium carbonate, laundry aisle, washing soda. Sodium tetraborate, laundry aisle, borax. 1. Sodium bisulfate. Compare price against muriatic acid from the hardware store for pH reduction. Muriatic acid wins on price and speed. Step 4. Calculate the cost per unit of active compound, not the cost per bottle. A $15 tub of pool store alkalinity increaser containing 4 pounds of sodium bicarbonate costs $3.75 per pound of active compound. A grocery store bag of baking soda at $1 per pound costs $1 per pound. The pool store tub costs $3.75 times more per unit of the compound doing the work. 1. That ratio, cost per unit of active compound compared across purchase locations, is the only number that matters when evaluating a pool chemistry purchase. Everything else on the label is marketing. Apply this 4-step reading habit to every pool store product you encounter, and the wall stops looking like a collection of specialized solutions. It starts looking like what it actually is. A collection of commodity compounds in small containers at specialty prices, organized by the problem they claim to solve, rather than by the chemistry they contain. 1. That reading habit, built in one afternoon of flipping pool store bottles and looking up active ingredients, is worth more across a pool ownership lifetime than any single product recommendation. It is the skill that makes every subsequent piece of pool chemistry knowledge immediately applicable instead of abstract. 40 years is a long time for a knowledge gap to persist. The bleach substitution, the baking soda substitution, the borax buffer system, none of these are recent discoveries. Pool professionals have known about them since before many current pool owners were born. 1. The Taylor Drop Test Kit that forms the backbone of accurate residential pool testing has been the industry standard for decades. The FCYA relationship that explains why trichlor tablets create chlorine lock problems by late summer has been documented in pool chemistry literature for 30 years. None of it filtered down to the residential pool owner at scale. Not because the information was inaccessible, because the parties best positioned to communicate it, the pool store, the service tech, the chemical manufacturer, had financial interests aligned against communicating it. 1. The information stayed inside the trade, passed between professionals who used it to run better pools for their accounts while billing for products they were not using, and never made it to the homeowner who was funding the whole arrangement. The internet changed that calculus slowly. Pool chemistry forums where knowledgeable owners shared what they had learned. YouTube channels where professionals and informed enthusiasts explained the actual chemistry in plain language. The accumulated product of thousands of pool owners comparing notes, running the math, flipping the bottles, and posting what they found. This channel is part of that shift. Every video is a piece of information that used to stay inside the trade, now available to every pool owner with a phone and 15 minutes. The 40-year gap does not close all at once. It closes one owner at a time, one video at a time, one parking lot moment at a time when someone asks why instead of what and finds an answer that sends them to the grocery store instead of back to the pool store wall. You are one of those owners. The gap just closed for you. Pass it on.